Hello YouTube and welcome to the Stargate SG1 20th Anniversary Special Weekend. This weekend we're going to be covering all things Stargate, so let's get started with the first video. This video is going to be all about the licensed games that were officially released for Stargate. Currently I number about 5, but if you know of any others, make sure to post in the comments below after the video to let me know, because I like to learn new things and I obviously don't know everything. So let's get started. First up on our list is Stargate, released in April of 1995 for the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. It was developed by Probe Entertainment Limited for the Genesis and Tantalus Interactive for the Super Nintendo. It was published by Acclaim Entertainment. The game is based on the 1994 film of the same name and follows all of the major plot points for the film. It also adds in a few new side stories to keep the game kind of fresh. The player takes control of Colonel Jack O'Neill and navigates him through a world of side-scrolling platform game action. Very typical of the time period. The main form of gameplay is using a single machine gun with infinite ammo and of course occasional power-ups to gun down most of the bad guys throughout the game while navigating your levels. Occasionally the game switches it up, putting you into death gliders, partaking in a form of dogfight combat. Although there's only supposedly 2 of these missions, it is interesting to see a bit of diversity in the game. Unfortunately, the game was poorly received due to apparently poor controls. Now obviously I can't play this game to tell you whether that's true or not, but perhaps you want to. If you happen to own a Super Nintendo or a Sega Genesis, you can look up this game on eBay or Amazon, probably fairly cheap, as I doubt it's a cult classic kind of game, and you can go ahead and play it. It's also possible you will be able to emulate the game. Unfortunately, I didn't happen to look into emulation, as I don't really emulate any of the older games. But on to the next game. Next up on our list is Stargate Resistance, originally announced in December of 2009 and originally released in 2010 by Fire Sky and Cheyenne Mountain Entertainment. It was then changed and owned and operated by Dark Comet Games. Unfortunately, in 2011, the game servers were shut down, but luckily in 2014, fan servers were brought online to allow people to continue to enjoy and play the game. Now, from what I can tell, these servers are still active to this day, as there are messages on there as recent as July 22nd. So if you're interested in playing Stargate Resistance, I would definitely check out the website linked in the description below, as you might still be able to play this with some people, although I bet the fan basis is a little bit low. Now the game itself is a third-person team shooter kind of game, featuring modes such as Team Deathmatch, Capture the Tech, which is sort of like Capture the Flag, Domination, Arena, and Conquest. Now, the game's story is it takes place sometime in the second decade of the Stargate program, sometime after the end of SG-1. Supposedly, Samantha Carter was promoted to General and put in charge of the Stargate program. Now, a war between Stargate and the System Lords is underway. Some kind of conflict is the gist of that. Now, I don't have a whole lot to say about this game. As you can see in the background, it definitely looks like an interesting game, and I will definitely be looking into these servers to see if there's any way I can start playing it, possibly doing some videos on my channel. But on to the next game. Next up on the list, we have Stargate SG1 Unleashed. This game was developed and released by Arcalis Interactive for the Android and iOS stores. Now, from what I understand, Episode 1 of the series released in March 2013, and Episode 2 was released in November of 2013. Now, officially this game was never necessarily shut down, and nor was it cancelled in any way. What appears to have happened was that the company that was publishing it on the stores went out of business, and now fortunately because of that, it was removed from the Google stores and iOS stores and all other stores it may have been active on. This is unfortunate, as visually speaking the game may not have been particularly impressive, but it was a Stargate game that you could play on your phone. It was a sort of adventure game, more about telling a story. I think it could have been entertaining to at least have on a phone to play every now and then, and it would have been some new Stargate content for us to enjoy. It's a shame that it got shut down and pulled from the store and there's no real way of accessing it anymore. That's about all I got to say about this one. So on to the next one. Here we have probably one of the more anticipated games, Stargate Worlds. This was going to be released for the PC, and it was an MMORPG. It was announced in February of 2016 and unfortunately canceled in February of 2010. It was developed by Cheyenne Mountain Entertainment and it was going to be published by Fire Sky. Now you may recognize those names. They were the ones that actually published Stargate Resistance, or a game we talked about just a little bit ago. This game would have taken place prior to Atlantis and the Ori story arc, set during the Tari-Goa'uld conflict. As a MMORPG, the game would have featured a list of classes. Now, those classes would have been an archaeologist, which was sort of a Daniel Jackson style character, an Asgard character, a Goa'uld character, a Jaffa character, a scientist character, which would have been sort of the Samantha Carter archetype, soldier character, which would have been more of the Jack O'Neill style, and a commando class. Now, as you can see in the footage behind, which is unfortunately repeating as I chose a somewhat short clip, it does look like it could have been a pretty good MMORPG, very much on par with some of the MMORPGs that are still rolling around these days. I really wish this game had been made, as I think I would have loved to play a MMORPG based on Stargate. That would have just been completely amazing. Now, I would imagine it would follow most of the standard MMORPG styles of gameplay, as noted in the video. It would have been a third-person game, probably same sort of button clicking that you would do in any normal MMORPG. Again, I feel this is probably one of the more anticipated games, because I think, in a way, this could have been the best choice for a Stargate game, allowing you to kind of create your own character in the world of Stargate. I really hope that they choose to reignite a fire in this sort of idea of an MMORPG for Stargate, because I think it would be really cool, especially if you brought in all of the new stuff from Atlantis and Ori and maybe even Universe, although I'm not really sure how they would fit Universe in, as it would have been so far away it would be hard to interact with the Universe and the Destiny and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, this is probably one of the most anticipated. So now on to the last game on the list. Last on our list is Stargate SG1 The Alliance, which was being developed by Perception Studios and would likely have been published by Namco or Joe Wood Productions. Now, the game was cancelled in August of 2005 and was going to be a first-person shooter game with an option of a third-person perspective. It would have been a typical first-person shooter with multiple objectives to complete during the missions, as you fulfilled the role of a specific character you picked from the SG1 team. Now, the game was set during the events of SG1 series, and would likely have followed mostly parallel to it up until a point where Anubis allied with a new enemy called the Haken, which was an alien race created specifically for the game. Now, I think the fact that they were creating a completely new alien race specifically for the game is kind of a little insight into the fact that these developers really wanted to create a game that wasn't just the TV show copied into a video game, but something a little bit more unique. Unfortunately, we never really got to see what the finished product would look like. We've got some kind of alpha footage, which is what's playing in the background right now, but we never really got a chance to see what the game could have truly been. And that's a real shame. But unfortunately, that's an end of our list today. Let's wrap this up, shall we? And just like that, it's over. Those are the only licensed video games I could find that were fairly well known for the Stargate franchise. Unfortunately, as you can see, pretty much none of them are really actively supported anymore. The Stargate Resistance one will need a little bit more investigation, and perhaps that might be something we will talk about in the future on this channel. But for now, that's all we're going to be doing for these licensed games. But don't fret, we've still got more videos coming up. Like I said, we're going all weekend for Stargate. So tomorrow, on Friday, I'm going to be releasing a Stargate mod spotlight. In this one, I'm going to be spotlighting specifically mods that have been created by fans for free for other games that make them Stargate related. There's a few really good ones in there, and I would advise you not miss it, because if you really need a Stargate gaming fix, some of these mods might be able to help you out with that. So I'll see you guys there. Have a good day. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video today. If you really liked it, make sure to like and share it to all your friends. If you'd like to see more videos by me, hit up that subscribe button right there in the center. And if you'd like to see another 2 videos by me, there's of course 2 links next to that subscribe button. If you'd like to support the channel in a monetary sense, hit up the Patreon link in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a wonderful day.